Prime Minister Modi is visiting Japan for yet another summit, taking forward the special strategic partnership between India and Japan. This visit is of special significance because it comes at a time when Japan has had a bilateral summit also with China. Prime Minister Abe was in Beijing just 2 days before Prime Minister Modi landed in Japan, and that visit was also significant for its geopolitical implications. This visit assumes importance because of four major issues. One, the focus is going to be, as are the indications, on the implications of strategy of cooperation between India and Japan in the Indo-Pacific. As we all know, this strategy has been in existence for some time now. India and Japan are cooperating quite extensively in the Indo-Pacific, but this time the focus is going to be on maritime domain awareness and maritime cooperation, and also a logistics agreement that has been under discussion for some time as far as the Indo-Pacific is concerned. Both sides would endeavor to take this forward. Also on the cards is discussion on strategy on defense and security cooperation. So that covers important subjects like the amphibious aircraft, which Japan has been trying to sell to India for quite some time. Discussions have been on that for a few years now. And at the same time, discussions which have not really progressed on the sale of Japanese submarines to India, which will also be possibly taken up during the course of this visit. On development cooperation, Japan is emerged as a very important partner of India. Most importantly, the high-speed rail project between Mumbai and Ahmedabad, for which the first tranche of 5,500 crores has been released already. Discussions will be on for the release of the second tranche for the same project. At the same time, India will take forward discussions on Japan's cooperation in Indian national programs on skills development and Make in India, and at the same time the remaining infrastructure projects on which Japan has shown interest, and that includes the Delhi-Mumbai freight corridor, which needs to be now finished within a specified time frame if it needs to succeed and if it needs to sustain the cities that are being built along this freight corridor. Japan is an important partner also for cooperation as far as infrastructure projects in the northeast are concerned. A special thrust will be given through discussions at this particular summit on that cooperation which India would like to take forward with Japan. Of special interest, of course, would be the discussions which took place between Prime Minister Abe and the leadership in Beijing on Japanese participation on the Belt and Road Initiative projects, which of course, as we all know, encompass now about 50 odd projects in which Japan has shown interest as far as the business community in Japan is concerned. Specifically, what details were discussed would be known also during these discussions, and India would like to calibrate how it moves forward on that issue in cooperation with Japan, because don't forget that as far as Japan is concerned, India has also been talking about collaboration in projects which cover third countries, especially in Africa. So in other words, we'll move on from the bilateral cooperation into a cooperation on 2+1 format, in which one other country would be involved, where Japan and India would cooperate by taking up a project in third countries. At the same time, there would be an emphasis on people-to-people contacts, on enhancing our cultural contacts, setting up possibly of a Japanese-India friendship society, which has been talked about for quite some time. And at the same time, an emphasis would also come about on how to take this relationship forward as far as bilateral trade and investments are concerned. Now both sides are engaged fairly extensively as far as investments are concerned and ODA is concerned, but at the same time trade has been falling a little bit, and about $16 billion of trade is not quite enough for countries like India and Japan, which have huge potential. Care will have to be taken that this trade does not stagnate. In fact, it should increase in the future, and ways and means will have to be found to do that. Therefore, of special significance would be the meetings of Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Abe with the business communities of the two sides, where the emphasis is on finding new areas of cooperation, especially in the digital technology area and in the high technology areas. And between these two, as well as other areas which would be taken up for discussion, the emphasis on trade and investment would necessarily have to show positive results in the coming years. So all in all, a very important visit, yet another visit which will take place, a summit meeting between India and Japan, and the outcomes are again supposed to be positive, far-reaching, and will consolidate the already special strategic partnership between the two countries.